All right, go ahead and shuffle that and just cut. And we're going to start with our health and well-being. And this is about our body, our spirit, our mind, our relationship with our spirituality. And then we're going to go into love and relationships. And then finally, we're going to look at that career stability piece of kind of what are we doing in our lives to take care of ourselves in this material world. All right, let's take a look first at that health and well-being. Oh my gosh. Major Arcana, couldn't be a better card in my opinion, the Sun. And what I really like about Rider-Waite-Smith is the fact that this is a child on a pure white horse, naked to the world, just bringing all of that innocence and joy. And look at the triumphant red scarf here, or whatever that is just really showing power and energy and the full force of that sun. And what better card could we get to go along with the star? So again, you are really getting the go-ahead with whatever your endeavors are. Now, where this comes into play with health and well-being, shine the light on anything that is not working for you, okay? Last week, we really had a lot of pentacles that were really focusing very positively on our health and well-being. And I think this reinforces that we really are in the light of summer for sure. You know, we're in the height of summer right now. And what better time to really clean our physical health out? You know, our physical health, house health, you know, be sure that we're doing the good things to nurture ourselves. I don't know why this comes to mind. We have a beautiful farmer's market every weekend here where I live, and go buy those fresh vegetables, walk, you know, get out into nature, soak up this sun right now. I think that that's an important thing too, is that, you know, we're taking advantage of what nature has to offer for us. As far as spirituality, don't dim your light. You know, be sure that you are shining that bright light and standing in your truth and speaking your truth. I think that came out pretty clearly with the Queen and Page of Swords coming through. And it's time too to just have joy about what you're doing. That's what the Sun card for me is always about. It's that joy and innocence and purity. And I've talked about purity before with the star. It's really tapping into that feeling. All right, I love that for us. Let's take a look now at love and relationships. We've got a couple court cards here that might come into play with personalities and people. All right, death. And I laugh because to me, death does not ever scare me. It is about new beginnings, and it is not literal death, okay? And I want you to notice here, the new dawn is coming, and it's always right there. And death has this beautiful, pure white rose, which is tapping in again to me, the purity. But death is like setting aside the conventions and social strata things. And, you know, we have the priest here laying on the ground, the king laying on the ground, the priest is a supplicant, and then there's other people here that are kind of looking at death like, you know, what do we do next? You know, we are kind of at our wits' end, and things are coming to an end. But new beginnings are also coming in. So with death, with love and relationships, you know, I just have to say this straight out. It may be time for something to end and for you to move on. But with all of this communication and all of this standing in our truth, and with the sun here in our health and well-being, whatever movement we're making in relationship is the right one. You know, you are being led to either work on that relationship and open your heart up, and especially in these communication pieces. You know, if there's been a lack of communication in any existing partnership, now is really the time to clear the air and just have some hope about it. You know, have that hope that the new dawn, the new beginning, we lay things aside that are no longer working for us. And I would translate this also to people that are looking for relationship. You know, time to set the baggage down that is not serving us. Time to look to the dawn. Time to go, okay, I'm going to find my person that's really going to resonate with the truth of who I am, that will see me as the bright light that I am, and will allow me to stand in that sunshine and just be who I am in my clear communication and my truth. Boy, that's really coming through for me this week. So we're not going to let death sidetrack us. We're going to accept it for what it is and take a hard look at ourselves and our relationships. And if you are not looking for partnership and you're not interested in that, what new things can you be bringing into your life to expand this sun and make things just better for you? What relationships, maybe friendships or whatever that aren't serving you or need some work? So take a look at those things too when we look at love and relationships. And most of all, just be kind to yourself and shine this light. Shine your star shine and shine your sunshine. All right. One more thing about that, we've got 2 core cards and swords. Air sign might be somebody that you're working with or wanting to get to know a little better. And then we have the fire sign with the King of Wands, if that is somebody else and not you. Those 2 things, air and fire, which kind of work together, don't they? Those might be people that in your circle of influence that you need to kind of take a look at. All right, we're going to transition now to career and what makes us feel stable in the material world, what we do to take care of ourselves. Let's see what we got. Wands, 5 of Wands. So I like the 5 of Wands. This is not like the 5 of Swords where things are pretty dire. The 5 of Wands is about figuring things out. And sometimes you just have to play a little bit, battle a little bit, stand your ground a little bit, which is what these fellows are doing. They're kind of whacking away at each other with those staves and actually not having too rough of a time of it. I think they're kind of having fun, actually. So it's about figuring things out. It's about, again, like I said, standing your ground and kind of knocking ideas around. If you find yourself at work and in sort of a brainstorming session, or you're trying to figure out what steps the business is going to take next, or whatever the project is. This is the storming and norming phase for me. We have to go talk about it and talk about it and talk about it, and then come to some kind of consensus. But there's always that process you have to go through. And I'm really going to tie this back to the Queen of Swords and the King of Wands. It's okay to take that leadership role. Sometimes somebody's just got to drive the boat, right? Someone's got to just say, hey, gang, let's think about it this way, and let's try to move forward and come to some consensus. And if you can be that rock, that solid person who's using their brain and their common sense and their logic, if you can be that leader, then your ideas and creativity and fire are really going to come to the table in a great way. And you're going to shine like the sun and shine like the star, and some change may happen. Some big change may happen that's actually going to lead you to better things down the road. So that's what we have for career and stability. And I think this is just fine. It's a process we have to go through. And it may even just be an internal process that you're having to work through to make a decision on what comes next in this area. And understand that, if you don't go through these cycles, you might just get stuck in something that feels exactly the same as what you were trying to get out of. Okay, that's what I have. I love that we're doing this with the Rider-Waite